Hi there, welcome to this video on multiplying mixed numbers. Shout out to Sydney for requesting this video. I think it's going to end up helping a lot of people. So here, before we get started on a few problems, I just wrote out some things that you should keep in mind when multiplying mixed numbers. This isn't the only strategy to multiply mixed numbers, but it's one that only involves a few steps, which might be helpful when it comes to remembering how to multiply mixed numbers. So my suggestion is that you turn the mixed numbers into improper fractions first so that you can just multiply across next. Another thing that's important to remember when multiplying mixed numbers is most likely you're going to have to convert and or reduce at the end. It's important to keep in mind that this will probably have to happen. So before we circle our answer after multiplying across, we should look to see if we need to convert and or reduce. All right, let's try a few examples. So this first example is 3/8 times 5 1/3. I always like to start by thinking about what is a reasonable estimate for this answer. So I'm taking something that's a little less than half and multiplying it by something that's a little more than 5. So I'm taking like a little less than something that's close to 5, a little less than half of 5. So my answer is probably going to be something around 2, 2.5, because I know half of 5 is 2.5, but I'm taking a little less than something a little more than 5. Anyway, let's shoot for an answer around that. So first I'll start by changing these into improper fractions. 3/8 I don't need to change, it's already a proper fraction, but 5 1/3 I need to change. So let's see. 5 is 15/3 plus 1/3 is 16/3. So my new problem is 3/8 times 16/3. And now I'm ready to just multiply across. So I'll write out this extra step so you can see what I mean by multiply across. I just mean numerator times numerator over denominator times denominator. 3 times 16 is 48, and 8 times 3 is 24. But now I know I have to look to see if I can convert or reduce. So this looks like an improper fraction, 48 over 24. So I know I at least have to convert. 24 goes into 48 2 times with nothing left over. So my answer is just 2. I don't actually need to reduce or simplify at all. One thing I want to show you that we could have done before we multiplied across is this thing called, we could have pre-simplified, which means instead of over here having to reduce this to 2 in the end, let's see if we could have found out that this answer was 2 before we even multiplied. So eventually I know that I'm going to have to reduce over here. So I know that 48 and 24 actually have a common factor of 24. So I could divide both numerator and denominator by 24, or I could have gone in a couple steps. I could have divided by 2 to get 24 over 12, and then divided again to get 12 over 6, and eventually come down here to 2. But I can also look for common factors here before I even multiply the fractions. So just looking at the numerators and denominators here, I see already that I could have pre-simplified, pre-divided out this common factor of 3 in the numerator and denominator. So I can say 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 3 divided by 3 here is also 1. I could have pre-simplified that to 1/8 times 16 over 1. But I also noticed that there's an 8 in the denominator here and a 16 in the numerator here. I know that 8 and 16 have a common factor of 8. So if I divide both numerator and denominator by 8, let's see what I get. 8 divided by 8 is 1. 16 divided by 8 is 2. And look at my multiplication problem now. I have 1 times 2, which is 2, over 1 times 1, which is 1, 2 over 1, also equal to 2. I could have gotten 2 just by pre-simplifying, and then I would have only had to multiply the numbers 1 times 2 and 1 times 1. Let's see if that comes up in any of our other problems. Let's check out this next one. 2 3/4 times 3 1/2. I can start by turning these both into improper fractions. All right, this is 8/4 plus 3/4, that's 11/4, times 3 1/2, that is 7/2. All right, can I pre-simplify it all? I don't see a number that shares a factor with 11 in the denominator. I don't see a number that shares a common factor with 7. I don't think I can pre-simplify here. Oh well. Let's multiply across. 11 times 7 is 77. 4 times 2 is 8. I don't think 77 and 8 have any common factors that I can simplify out, but I do know that this is improper, so I have to convert it to a mixed number. 8 goes into 77 9 times, with 5 8s left over. So 2 3/4 times 3 1/2 is 9 5/8. Does that seem reasonable? Well, this is pretty close to 3. This is a little more than 3. So something that's roughly 3 times 3 should be around 9. So my answer seems pretty reasonable. Let's try one more example. 3 3/4 times 1 7/9. Well, this is almost, let's see, this is a little more than 3. This is a little more than 1. So I would expect an answer, so 3 times, a little more than 3, a little more than, maybe something around 6, but bigger than that because this is bigger than 3 and this is close to 2. So 6 or 7, I'm guessing. All right, 3 3/4, that is, let's see, that's 15/4 times 1 7/9, that's 16/9. Okay, can we pre-simplify this at all so I don't end up having to multiply 15 times 16? Let's see. Okay, 15, its factors are 5 and 3. Sorry about that siren out there. All right, 15's factors are 5 and 3. No common factor here. Well, 9 has a factor of 3. So what if I divide 15 divided by 3? That is 5. And 9 divided by 3, that is 3. All right, these numbers are looking a little better already. Let's check the other one. 16, that is a ton of factors. Well, that's nice. 4 happens to be one of its factors. So let's divide 16 divided by 4 is 4, and 4 divided by 4 is 1. So 5 times 4 is 20, and 1 times 3 is 3. Okay, let's see. 20/3, 3 goes into 26 times with 2/3 left over. This is a little, we said our answer should be around 6 or 7, so this seems pretty good. My answer is reasonable. So 3 3/4 times 1 7/9 is 6 2/3. 2/3 is completely reduced. I did that by pre-simplifying over here. If you would have done 15 times 16 over 4 times 9, you would eventually have gotten an answer that simplified down to 6 2/3. I just like to pre-simplify so that I don't have to go through all that trouble of trying to figure out what 15 times 16 is and running into a mistake there. I hope this video helped with multiplying mixed numbers. Reach out with any other questions you might have. Thanks. Bye.